Hi, and welcome to this week's retrospective. This week has been about getting AI to make better decisions. The specific use case I had was how do I fully automate adding my headshots to the thumbnail? I don't want to waste time going into Canva. I just want the whole thing to be automated. As I mentioned in a previous video, headshots make a difference, but the difference is an improvement of 2% in terms of click through. The content is what gets you seen. Problem was super simple. Like, you come in, say, here is the video, pick which headshot best suits the headline that is going to be picked on the video. And my initial assumption is maybe you can put it through vision and it decides which one, but that is very expensive in terms of operations and using AI compute, and the results were rubbish. It was absolutely rubbish. So I tested something different. So each image is now stored in a database, and each image has metadata describing it for the use case. So gaze direction, which way am I looking? Energy level, emotion, what emotion, and am I focused, stressed, angry? Whether I'm wearing glasses, and the composition type. So what now happens in that automation flow, the GPT scores each one and picks the right one. And that is working really well. And it does a number of things. One is, it's not just using the same headshot every time, it's switching things up, and it's aligning much more like my emotion as much as I can express that in an image. I'm not an actor, so I'm probably doing it badly, but it takes the emotion I'm trying to express, like am I smiling, am I thinking about stuff, and matches it with the content. It's working well enough, can always be improved, but it's one less thing I have to worry about. And looking at the data, the click-through rates are solid, they're good. So, that's it. And then there's going to be a feedback loop, and it'll learn what works, what doesn't. And I suppose the trend will change over time. Maybe your face won't matter. Now that it's all systemized, you can do it. The other thing that I shipped was on digitizing events, and I've just put it into the sort of hero featured article on digitizing events, a thumbnail preview. So you hover over the image and it plays a video that tells you what's inside the article. Now, at the moment, all it does is take the thumbnail, analyze the article, write about 190 characters that describe the key point, and burn that into an image to create a video. So it's not doing anything that you couldn't have done before with a JavaScript ticker or anything like that. But having built the engine that can create that analysis of the articles and define what the key value points are, and at the moment, just burn it over the thumbnail, creates a really nice experience. But where I'm going to go with it is to then move that on a little bit further so that those 17 seconds aren't just a thumbnail with a scrolling ticker, but more motion graphics, really explaining and creating engagement on that page around why that video is important. What is amazing is from having that idea to being able to execute it, production ready, was 2 weeks. Building the service that creates the video was 1 day. And the reason why it took 2 weeks is because I was working on other stuff. If I were to have pushed it into my entire focus, I believe the whole thing could have gone from idea to production ready in about 3 days. And that is all through leveraging AI to work with you. So it's a real human in the loop validation. One of the discoveries from both of those is that metadata is the real interface. You need to be able to articulate all 10 elements into data that AI can work with, like with thumbnails, that metadata JSON description of what it should look like, with creating the video, being able to turn a very long article into and distill it down step by step into, what's the punchy headline. In building out these more advanced automations and workflows, the key question isn't really, can AI do this task? The key question is, what metadata does AI need on each component to reliably complete the task? So that is just it's a different way of thinking about what within your enterprise, how you need to store data on certain things if you're going to leverage AI to truly do a good job of doing those tasks. And I'm not calling it automations, they're tasks, like, composing and building a thumbnail is a task with many facets. You want it to do it properly. You really need to think about how to put that metadata in. And it is actually surprisingly, it's not that difficult. It's just acknowledging that you need that. And that's a big learning. Next week, there may be no retrospective because I really need to focus and double down on creating more content on digitizing events, because the traction is very good, actually, getting good traffic signals on it. And there is so much stuff I promised I'd share from all my learnings, including what I described today, like how do you build this, how do you orchestrate this fully automated YouTube thumbnail thing. And that's just the start of it. There are other imagery that you can now start orchestrating using AI to free up time to build things that create real value, like proper analysis about how you need to change your operations to, make AI work for you properly, because it can be super frustrating. And I found you get stuck in a rabbit hole of going back and forth, and then you realize that, hey, we just really mentally need to rethink the way we assemble tasks, especially if we're working in collaboration with AI. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support through comments, likes, and subscriptions.